Today I'm going to share what I see working for tradies in the social media space. Now, I've built more than 500 tradie websites, locally optimized. I've spent more than 10 mil on Google and Facebook ads. While I am not a videographer, I have pissed off my fair share of Karens with my drone. I do have a Bachelor of Design, and I have been photoshopping cucumbers into people's faces since 1997. So I know my way around a pixel, and this is the direction that I'm trying to take all of my tradie campaigns. As much as I possibly can, I will take over and drive the ship, but this is what I see working. So I'm going to be sharing essentially how to capture content for social media without forking out crazy amounts of money for videography, hopefully, right? Videography is extremely important. And while I will always recommend to spend a bit and get that main welcoming banner video or welcome video that really captures what you guys do, your history, makes for a great About Us page, today I'm going to be talking about creating what I call the barrel of never-ending content, the content machine that I've rolled out for lots and lots of clients. It's not the core of what I do, but I've forced myself into this path because I try to do all the things that my clients require for success to generate leads. So I'm going to be talking about the creation of how to capture videos that actually tell a bit of a story, but more so prove to the audience you are capable of doing the thing. Now we're going to be focusing on tradies. First things first is perception. Option one is you can absolutely go and hire a videography company that will charge 2 to 3 to 4 to 10K a month and spit out 10, 15, 20 reels, vertical reels. I definitely think something like that should be done initially, especially to get that brand video, but I don't feel like it's sustainable to most businesses, especially businesses that are firing up. That money will provide a much more reliable return on something like a Google ad for a roofer or an arborist to kickstart and get some leads through the door. Not to say that this isn't important. Branding is definitely very important. What I'm going to be sharing with you is just some scraps of advice. First thing is first is there's two ways to approach this. Things are always better with two people. So let's say you are a roofer, you're an electrician. Bonus points if there are two of you. So one person holds the camera, one person talks to the camera. But I can explain this in a bare bone manner. First things first is organization, right? We want to look at this from a longevity perspective. We want to set up systems, forget about systems, barrels, right? Barrels of media that we can forever dip into and pull things out, make clips, make reels, make stories. And in this case, I'm going to be using a roof, for example. So Google Drive organization, where whether you are on your phone, whether you are on a device, it's easier for you just to drag the files in. You can have Google Drive installed on your PC, so it's like a virtual disk drive, and organize your folders. So for example, you might be on a project site for a week, for 2 weeks, right? There might be 50 apartments going up and you're doing the roof for all the 50 apartments. Have a folder for that project and day by day, do the best that you can to just organize at least the folders. I don't expect you to name everything because later on you can invite video editors from around the world, from anywhere, to dip in and pull the stuff that's important. Now, I found that CapCut Cloud is absolutely a game changer. I've got about access to 50 businesses' CapCut accounts. I've got a team in Romania, I've got a team in Ukraine, I've got a team in the Philippines, and my editors will just jump into the files and re-chop things up so we can actually create content at scale. So CapCut Cloud was a deal breaker for me, but as a backup, I think it's $12 a month, gets you 100 gig in the cloud. That's enough of working space. You don't want to be using CapCut for complete storage. You've got Google Drive for that. So they're the go-to tools that I'm using. So CapCut for easy video editing. You guys can look up a whole bunch of tutorials, or I can eventually make some. Descript if you are talking to the camera, because like this video here, you can easily cut out things like ums and ahs, and that's probably going to be cut out, or pauses. So they're just the tools that I go to. Now, in terms of hardware, you don't need to have crazy production gear. A lot of the time I'm filming with my phone, I'm on a bike. Now, in terms of a roofer, bonus points, if you have a drone, DJI Mini costs like $1,500, under $2,000. You can get a drone with 3 or 4 batteries. You could be in the air for 3 or 4 hours with 4 batteries. Just make sure you're not flying near. Just check out you're allowed to fly and things like that. Mavic 3 is what I have. Bit more of a serious drone as far as easy to fly. Obviously that means you probably want to have 2 people. One person on a roof with the mic talking to the camera, the drone capturing, bonus points. Now, DJI mic, and you have to invest in a baseline mic. It doesn't have to be crazy, but under $400 you can get a DJI mic with 2 microphones if you're interviewing 2 people. Happy days. You could have wind up there. I'm recording most of my videos on a bike. That's the mic that I use. Any camera or phone. These days, the latest iPhones, the latest Androids just capture in such crazy quality, and the convenience of having CapCut installed on a phone, and literally you capture what you need, tick tick, up the cloud it goes, and then the team around the world pick it up. Or it might be you picking up that data from your laptop or your desktop at home. That's how teams from different sides of the world can collaborate on one file at the same time. It's really good. Tripod, right? Tripod, and you just want to avoid shaky movements. It's either you're moving left to, I don't know what those words are, up and down, straight, strafe. I know strafe because I've played Call of Duty. But you want to keep things consistent. Don't like try capture this like my mother captures things and you move left and right and it's just all over the place. That's the setup, right? Now, ideally with tradies, there's always a story. Like the electrician got called out because of a fault. That fault is causing some sort of damage to the overall experience of living, right? Things are flooded, things are not warm, things are not cold. So same with this. The goal is to constantly share value to the world on what you do. You are a roofer, you've been on a roof how many hours? 20,000 hours. You are an absolute professional when it comes to anything to do about roof tiles, roof restoration, roof leakage. So you don't even need to create a script. So make sure that you're talking about things that you've done 1,000,000 times. That way, just like I'm not reading off anything, I can just keep talking about the stuff that I've done for thousands of hours. So every case, whether it's a new apartment going up, whether it's a cracked tile on a roof, there's always like a before, a middle, and an after of a story. So the introduction, the challenge, the solution, like the overcoming of obstacles. There's always obstacles, whether it's the weather or someone fell off a roof. Hopefully they didn't. There's, oh shit, the foundation isn't good. The toilet's flushing because the antenna's now snapped. Whatever the obstacles might be, the final result. Now, this does not have to be rainbows and butterflies. Sometimes it's not good. Sometimes things get held up. Conclusion and call to action. Look, call to action, I wouldn't even do a call to action anymore because you're there to show that you are an authority on this space. If anyone spends time watching this video, the goal is for them to believe and trust that you are an authority on the space, that you're the dude for the job on their roof. That's the goal, right? So I avoid call to actions. I don't think they're necessary anymore. And I've got a bit of a case study. So I'm going to go down the path. So introduce the job, right? So how I see this set up is we got called out. It's 5 a.m., 6 a.m. This particular job, here's the introduction. Summarize the main challenges and the issues the client faced. Examples of frequent repairs, low efficiency or something like that. Impact of the business. When it rains, the roof leaks. Whatever the issues are, I'm sure there are infinite of issues. Maybe it's an old roof, maybe it's moldy, maybe it's whatever, maybe there's pigeons, right? The solution. So what the solution that you advise them to do. We're going to do this because of this. We're going to be using these tiles because of this, and we should be able to get this done. Now, this might be a video that you capture at the end, because not everything goes to plan. So up to you. There's no wrong or right way to do this. You can record one clip, like an interview type clip that talks about the whole project while you're using other clips throughout the job. So I'll go down the story and then I'll loop back around with what I mean here. So the story should cover the challenges. So we climbed up on the roof. There wasn't anywhere to get harnesses. There wasn't, supplies were delayed. The truck fell over. You know what those challenges are. Team had to get more guys on site, weather, of course, right? So summarize the steps you took to address the issues. Talk about the tools that you used. We use this because of this. We use these harnesses. We use this scaffold. Recommend other companies because that allows you to tag them as collaborators. It allows you to tag them in your social media posts, in your stories, right? Tag manufacturers of tools, right? You got these special boots. You got these special tools. So it also shows your craft. Like, this is why you use these tools. Progress of project, right? So a project might go for several weeks, might go for several months, right? Explain what step of the project you're on. Today we're doing the cement, tomorrow we're doing this, etc. So paint the picture of what go along the story. Now, overcoming obstacles, I've mentioned that. Don't be afraid to capture the ugly stuff. In fact, a lot of the things in trades, they're not pretty, right? It's like in SEO when I talk about backlinks. A lot of the time, those backlinks are not pretty, right? It's like the plumbing under the house, those electrical cables. Bonus points if you look, before and after is the ultimate goal. The early stages of the job, everything's a mess, old roof, everything's cracked. You got the middle of the job, but then you got the before and after, and at the end you do a side-by-side image comparison or whatnot. Look, yeah, I don't think you'll be able to do a client testimonial, but if you can, bonus points. Now, obviously, you don't want to be filming stuff you're not allowed to film. Just be mindful, especially with a drone, but that's, you know how it goes. So, an example, XYZ, Roofing Sydney. We should start up that company. Johnson Apartments, a 50-unit residential building in Sydney, Australia. Key success metrics: completed a full tile replacement in half the expected time, or save the costs, preventing further leaks, and improving the building's insulation by 20%, saving them electricity bills, blah, 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 and just keeping them warm at night. The challenge: their apartments experience frequent roof leaks, poor insulation due to aging, cracked roof tiles. Now, impact of the business: the leaks were causing damage to multiple units, resulting in high repair costs. So this is the stuff that someone senior in the company, someone that's, a lot of the time it's the business owner that takes on the job, that quotes the job up, it's the project manager, or someone that's capable of having that conversation, gets in front of the camera and explains this. The solution: we recommended these old roof tile replacements, high quality, weather resistant, blah, blah, blah. Implementation overview, 2 weeks. We removed the old damaged tiles, installed the new ones, working closely, blah, 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 blah. So just, you're going down the journey. These were the obstacles. The building's height and complex roof design made certain areas difficult to access. Sweet. We did this. Our team used scaffolding, specialized equipment. We have all the tools. We got a drone in there, whatever. You know the stories better than me. I don't know anything about roofing. I just build the sites and run the Google ads and run the Facebook ads, right? Results: bonus points if you can client testimonials. I absolutely understand if you can't. And conclusion. Now, the kind of camera shots that you could use throughout all of your social media, case study, like the goal here, demonstrate proof of work with a mini case study. Of course, along the way, you're going to be capturing so many awesome clips that you can use for stories. That you might be starting the construction at 5 a.m. The sun's going up. It's a beautiful moment. So I'm not saying don't capture that. I'm just talking about a specific type of video that actually helps your SEO, helps convert, helps increase time on site. It essentially sells you while you sleep, right? Someone that's looking for a roofer lands on this case study-ish type video that goes for 10 minutes or whatever. It's, yeah, I'm going to hire Eugene the roofer because he's just tackled this hard project. He's got a track record of tackling these hard projects. He's the roofer for me. So the camera shots, your typical tripod shot in front of the camera, capture steady, professional looking shots. The key word here is steady. Everything has to be steady, none of this movement. There's a couple of ways to go about this. You could film landscape, and if you film in 4K, you still are able to do a crop in a 1080p vertical, which is the social media stuff. Don't try capture vertical social media in 4K. It's just useless. Instagram, TikTok will compress it anyway. There's no need to do that. These days, for this kind of stuff, I just record everything in vertical. But look, there's no wrong or right way to do it. Up to you. If you want to capture both sides of the story, you capture everything in landscape, but you keep it 4K. That way it's croppable. Drone shot, slow pans, especially with roofs, before and after. Drone shots go a long way. Time lapse, set up a GoPro, set up a 360 camera, get it to take photos every 5 seconds or every 10 seconds. Time lapse, do a whole time lapse of the whole day. That goes a long way. 360 camera, I've started to push my clients over to the Insta360 camera, which essentially they set up in the middle of the room. Let's say they're doing tiling or whatnot, and the camera just captures a few hours of work, and then it creates crazy file sizes, but it allows you to do a really cool time lapse, and it allows you to cut the clips that you want. So you might put this camera at the top of the roof, 360. I'd probably record in some basic quality, because you're going to do a time lapse anyway. It's going to be like motion blur. It'll just be a cool clip. You probably don't want to show all of the micro details anyway. Handheld walkthrough is big, so just a gentle walkthrough. You don't even need the gimbal these days. These cameras have such good stabilization. But bonus points if you do a walkthrough over the shoulder POV, so the site manager's walking through with a mic explaining things. Before and after, of course, close-up detail shots, the boys nailing things in, preparing the roofs, cleaning the roof, wide-angle shots, pan top. So just look, I've just pulled these random ones. How I see a typical clip for something like this: it's morning, it's frosty, the cars have arrived, parked, the boys are unloading their equipment slowly, you got some chill beats in the background. Might kick off with an interview with Eugene, the roofer, setting up, we got this job, it's going to take this much, here's the problem, here's what's being caused, here are the challenges, and see how we go. And then the rest of it is the boys in action. You could actually create more detail in the words that you use, so that audio can go for 5 to 10 minutes explaining the job, while you're clipping to clips of the boys getting the job done, drone in the air, and you got some nice chill beats in the background. So just keep things consistent that way. That would be my approach for capturing clips in the trade space. And you've got essentially a barrel of content. You capture 5 or 10 of these projects that you can forever dip into. You can forever recut them. You can re-interview yourself about that job. You can comment it, give it a fresh approach. Hopefully that's been helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Obviously I had a agenda of things that constantly work for me, but maybe I'm talking about things and I completely miss certain other things. So I explain how to get to A to C, but miss out on the B. Like, what happened in between here? Why are we doing this? So feel free to reach out, and hopefully this has been helpful.